We wake up in the mornings and we get ready for the day. Either it be going to work or going to school. We live our lives and we don't really see what's actually happening around us or what's happening to us. So this is a story about love, hope, inspiration, but most importantly, this is a story about the bad. Okay, so I know what you're saying, I know what you're thinking. Who talks about the bad? I can explain though. You just gotta give me 1 second. You ready? I'll tell you why. But first, I gotta take you back. I gotta take you far back. The year was 1990. I was born. I told you I was gonna take you all the way back. Now, in 1995, I experienced some emotion for the very first time. I'll explain more on that in the future. 1996 came around and I developed some of these weird stomach pains. More on that in the future. Now let's skip ahead. 2004. High school, yeah. Oh, high school, the time of firsts. Played football for the first time, had my first girlfriend, discovered my passion for music. 2006 was a big year for me. I was introduced into video production class that changed my life. I met this girl in health class. That's where I experienced what love really was. We were like peas and carrots. We had everything in common. We played paintball. We shared our passion for the man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Campbell. I sang her CCR, though I don't think she really liked it that much. Now, in my day, if you were in a relationship with somebody in high school, you wrote each other notes. Yeah, handwritten notes. There was no texting. That came way later. Now, she didn't write me notes. No. She drew me portraits, pictures, whatever you want to call it. I mean, granted, they were of me mostly getting eaten by this mythical bird monster thing, but you know what? Not all of them were. She didn't believe me when I told her I was gonna make those drawings into t-shirts. Oh, and we're actually still friends to this day. She forever holds a special place in my heart. Not long after that, I met someone else. Someone that would outlast all the odds. 2008 comes around and I graduated high school. What? Crazy, I know. And I was still with the same girl that I'd met in 2006. Now flash forward to 2012 and I marry that girl. Yes! My high school sweetheart. It was also about time for me to start thinking long term. Start thinking of my future, our future, something that will help build my family. So remember back in 1996, I said I developed these weird stomach pain things. Well, it took many years to figure out what was causing that. So I have lost many jobs because of it. I have a very severe case of IBS. If you don't know what IBS is, it's irritable bowel syndrome, and well, I'll save you the nasty details. Basically, I have a digestive problem and it causes severe discomfort and severe pain. And I deal with this on a daily basis, every single day. And there's no cure and there's no real preventative medicine that you can take for it. It's just something I have to live with. So it just got to a point where I had to figure something else out. I had to figure out what I'm gonna do to make a living for myself because I just cannot keep losing jobs after jobs for the rest of my life. So just got to a point where I need to figure something out. 2014 is when everything started to change. I started my own business. What? I know, it's crazy. It took me 2 years to make it happen, but it did. Showroom Collectibles was born. Starting a business is scary, but I had a purpose. I have a goal. And when I set my mind to something, nothing will stop me from achieving it. 2015 came around and devastation was on the horizon.
Police are looking for Fox 12's most wanted, who stole a very large collection of Star Wars memorabilia.
A local man's collection of Star Wars memorabilia, decades in the making, was stolen from his own home, and it appeared on the shelves of a collectibles shop.
My store's reputation was on the line. I did everything I could do to fix this thief's mistake, but the damage was done. I lost a huge chunk of my customers, and that's not good for a new business. My reputation was tainted. 2016, the store was barely hanging on. More stores like mine have been popping up. That might have something to do with it. Also that year, I had a childhood friend pass away suddenly, and we also had a massive snowstorm, which didn't help my store's survival, which also led to me wrecking my car. Now, 2017 is where things take a really bad turn. Or does it? 2017 was the year everything changed. It all starts when this guy walks into my store and introduces himself as David Foster. He told me he was looking for some stuff to decorate his studio set. That led to a friendship and later a partnership. A few months after that, I decided to start taking my store to Facebook. I do my first ever live Facebook sale from the back of my store, and it was a massive success. It changed my store and it saved my business. Things were back on the rise. Until 1 month later, my high school sweetheart tells me that she doesn't love me anymore, that she was leaving me. And she left. My world was coming down. Everything I built, everything I was working towards was gone.
You cheated the light and ran away, and I got stuck with a knife in me, and this pain won't go away, go away.
So I was pretty messed up after that for a little bit. I mean, I spent nearly half my life with her. I had never even lived on my own before. I didn't even know how to do that. I felt like I was some kind of thing that crash landed on some new planet, and I was just lost and confused, and everything was just brand new and just didn't know what to do. So I turned to music. It's always been there for me. I was hoping to find some inspiration hidden in the words. You see, music is a powerful thing. It can change the way you feel in a blink of an eye. Music is also very subjective. Songs can be interpreted in many different ways.
Baby, don't forget, it's all fun and game until the final step. That's when you overstep. You know that I'm weak, you exploit that, yeah. I'm down on my knees when you place your bet. Keep telling myself it's the last of it.
There's this particular song that's been stuck in my brain lately, and it's about a person that has just given up. They don't think they're strong enough, so they build walls around themselves and just go into this hole of darkness. They don't have any hope. And then out of nowhere, this cannonball comes crashing through, letting that light back in, reminding them that there is still hope, that you are still strong enough, that you can rise up out of the darkness and overcome your fears. Then, out of nowhere, an interesting person contacts me. Remember back in 1995, I told you that I first experienced emotions? Well, that emotion was towards a girl. She was my kindergarten queen. I was 5 years old, experiencing something I couldn't explain. She was the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. She moved away. A few years later, I never saw her again. That was 20 years ago, and now she's reaching out to me when I'm at my lowest, when I've been beaten, when I have no hope. She had no idea what was going on. We start talking, and we never stopped. We talked every day, all day long. But she also lived 2,000 miles away. So I made the decision to make the trip to go see her. I needed to get away and just clear my head. And on top of that, seeing her after all these years would be incredible. I also decided to film a little vlogumentary about her and I finding each other and reconnecting. Now, when my plane landed, I was picked up and I was taken to her. I will never forget the moment I walked into that house and I turned the corner and laid my eyes on her. My exact thoughts were, oh, man, I'm in trouble. Oh man, was I ever. She's incredible. I can't begin to tell you how awesome she is. I spent an entire week with her and her family, and by the way, they are just as amazing as she is. When I'm around her, I don't feel like I'm dead inside. I can literally talk to her about anything. And I haven't felt this way since that girl that was drawing portraits of my death in 2006. I can feel myself changing, and it's not into something new. I'll explain more on that in just a second. I was uplifted. I didn't feel like this darkness was looming over me anymore. Things were beginning to make sense again. About a month after I got home from seeing her, I was driving myself crazy. I had these feelings towards her and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I told her. And you know what that beautiful woman told me? She told me that she did not feel the same way that I do for her. I could feel that darkness closing in on me again. I was headed right back into that hole. But then it hit me. It was clear as day. You see, this story was never about her and I running off into the sunset together. Our story, this very story, is much, much more than that. This story is about a person crashing into someone's life, breaking their wall down, pulling them from their hole right out of the darkness, looking them straight in the eye, and slapping them across the face, waking them up, reminding them of who they used to be and who they want to be. You see, I fell victim to my own path. I put myself on this journey of getting married, starting a business, and hoping one day to start a family. I never stopped to see what the person I was with had been turning me into. I never asked myself if I was truly happy with my life. So you may be wondering, what about 2018? Well, I'm not. You see, I'm on the exact path that I'm supposed to be on. It has already led me to some extraordinary places, and I have met some amazing people. The future holds so much more for me, and I'm okay with not knowing exactly what that may be. But what I do know is that it all started when I decided to take that trip, get on that plane, and see an old friend that I hadn't seen in 20 years. Nobody, not even me, could have predicted the impact she would make on my life. She taught me that no matter how dark things get, there's still good within the bad. You just have to look. So, this is where our story ends. I would be lying if I didn't want things to have gone differently between her and I. If there was anything that I could tell her right now, it would be that I'm sorry and thank you. And I hope that our paths do cross again one day. And also, you are and always will be my Cannonball.